Just quickly, I want to mention a waqia to you. Qibla Mufti mentioned this today in Jummah Salah. Allahu Akbar. Who's heard of a lady called Ummay Ma'bad? Put your hands up, no? I'll just listen to this waqia. Allahu Akbar. When Allah's Messenger Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam migrated from Makkah to Medina, in the way they stopped at this house. This woman, she wasn't a believer. But this woman, what would she do? Any guest that would come in the way, she would feed them, give them to drink. She'd provide some food for them. Allah's Messenger Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam, along with the Siddiq, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, along with their slave, they stopped at this woman's house and they said to the woman, do you have any food or milk or drink that we can have? She said, look, Wallah, you've come to such a time, I don't have no food, I don't have no drink. Allah's Messenger Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam looked, and in the corner there was a goat. This goat was weak. Allah's Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam said to Ummay Ma'bad, do you allow me to milk this goat? She said, my parents be sacrificed upon you. By my mother, my father be sacrificed upon you. If there's any goat in the udders of this goat, do milk this. So Allah's Messenger Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam called for this goat. The Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam read the name of Allah, and all of a sudden the udders were filled with milk. The Rasulullah Alayhi Salatu Wasalam squeezed the milk through the udders. She got one pot, it was full. She got another pot, it was full. Until all of the pots in the house were full. Allah's Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam gave the milk first to Ummay Ma'bad. He said, drink this. Then he gave it to his friend Siddiq, who quenched his thirst quickly. Then to the slave of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, he quenched his thirst. And at the end, Allah's Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam said, he who bears the cup, he who provides the drink to people, he must drink at the end. Then, I want you to listen to this attentively, because I'm going to describe Rasulullah Alayhi Salatu Wasalam with some words. Allahu Akbar. Then, Allah's Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam, they milked the goat the second time again, until you can see the crust. This indicates there was so much milk in the udders of the goat. And then the Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam milked it finally and said, give this milk to your husband when he comes. And Allah's Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam left. And then all of a sudden, when Rasulullah Alayhi Salatu Wasallam left, Abu Ma'bad, the husband of Ummay Ma'bad, came. And he came home and he seen that this goat, all of a sudden, there was milk in the udders. He seen that the pots were full of milk. He had seen that something happened. And he said, oh Ummay Ma'bad, what happened? Allahu Akbar. What Ummay Ma'bad says, Mubarak came. Who came? Everybody say, who came? He said, who's Mubarak? He said, who's Mubarak? Describe him to me. Allahu Akbar. Ummay Ma'bad says, a man came. Mubarak came. Raitu rajulan wasimun kasimun. She says, a man came. He was handsome. His body was proportioned. Fi aynayhi da'jun. His eyes, the blackness of his eyes was black, and the whiteness was white. Aksanahu min ba'idin. When you were to look at him from far away, he was beautiful. Wa ajmaluhu min qaribin. And when you looked at him from close, he was more handsome. His words were like pearls. When he spoke, they were like pearls. When he remained silent, Allahu Akbar, there was nur coming out. And she described like this, the Messenger Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam, he says his eyebrows were very close. His stomach wasn't out. She described him like this. And the husband says, Abu Ma'bad says, Wallahi, it is a man from Quraysh. It is a man from Quraysh, I will follow him. So she says, Wasimun qasimun fi aynayhi da'jun aksanahu min ba'idin wa ajmalahu min qaribin. These are some of the words Ma'bad described. And then, Allahu Akbar, each time Abu Ma'bad would come home, he said to Ma'bad, tell me about this man of Quraysh. Who was he? Describe him to me. Ma'bad would describe Rasulullah Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam. Remember, at this point, Ma'bad is not a Muslim. She's not a Muslim. And then she leaves one day. They're looking for this man. His name's Mubarak. She's shopping and she goes to the streets of Medina. She's there with her son. Allahu Akbar, and she's shopping away. All of a sudden her son, he sees a man. He says to the mother, Ya Ummah, oh my mother, Ar-Rajulu alladhi ma'al Mubarak. That man, he was with Mubarak. And they rush to this man, and it is Amir al-Mu'minin Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq. Ma'bad says to Abu Bakr Siddiq, where's Mubarak? She's excited. Where's Mubarak? He says, who's Mubarak? She said, remember when you were traveling, you came to my house and I gave you some milk. Where's Mubarak? Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq knows she's talking about Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. He says, I will take you to Mubarak. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq takes Ma'bad to Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam until she accepts Islam. Allahu Akbar, this woman who was truly a woman of the desert, she wasn't a Muslim. Her description in the books of Hadith, you can never ever match any description like this. It is the first time she's seen Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. In one description, she mentioned over 18 qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Such an eloquent way, and until this day, the description of Ma'bad is studied in universities. She described the man like this, and finally, out of astonishment, she said, Mubarak came. Mubarak means the blessed man. Because when she seen the miracle and she was overtaken by it, and she said, Mubarak came. Allahu Akbar, they say, the goat that Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam touched and milked the goat. When there was a famine and a drought at the time of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala an, all the goats, the water was dry. The milk in the udders was dried of all of the goats. But the historians say that if anybody wanted milk, the same goat that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam milked, and if you went to her house, to Ma'bad's house, there was still milk in the same way. You could milk that goat until your pots were full. This is our Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. That when she seen Sayyid Mubarak came and she described him with these words. And we're here to celebrate and commemorate the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam.